Hello, Shakeeb.
Hello, Mikko.
So, how was LBW?
LBW was an experience.
I just wait by the door, don't know what I'm headed for. And if it's me and the beat, I'm keeping one on the floor. They like a landline, always keep my hands stopped. Wonder how I like you and lie to you at the same damn time. What's up? Steady on the beat. I was numb, anything degree burns, baby. I'm only window shopping. No room in my pocket.
Okay, so day one, we arrived at Villarna International Airport at around like 6 p.m. We said goodbye to our parents and we went in the new terminal with a lot of expectations, only to find out that our flight was delayed like 1 hour 30 minutes. So we just did random stuff in the new terminal, took pictures, explored the place. And then when we got, our flight was supposed to be at like 9 p.m. We got on our flight from Malé to Colombo. It's like almost 11. The final call for our Colombo to Malé flight, so we just rushed to our gate. And it was kind of stressful, but in the end, we got to Malé at around 8 a.m. Everywhere we went, she always had something to say, and she loved nasi lemak, and she also, what does she like? She loved Malaysia, just as we love Malaysia.
I love you so much, Malaysia.
We went to have some nice, like brunch. There would be brunch by the time at Saddam. Saddam. And we had some authentic Malaysian food, nasi goreng, nagi goreng, some people had dosa. There was some complications with the timing of orders, so there were so many students at once trying to get the order, but in the end, like, it took around like 2 hours maybe, so I got the food in the end. Along with the food, we also had a lot of assortment of exotic drinks, one of being like the mint Milo. I would say that was the highlight of Naskandar Saddam for me. And then we got to like go around the shops around that place as well. And then we got back on the bus, and then we actually started the Putrajaya tour, where we went and got to see Putrajaya as a whole. And we, as per Miss Maria, we got a lot of information like how Putrajaya is like the administrative and executive capital of Malaysia. It was established there in 1999, and all the government faculties and everything are built on Putrajaya. And it has also a lot of man-made elements and terraforming as well. One being like the Great Putra Lake, famous part of Putrajaya, which is the courtyard housing the Prime Minister's office and the mosque, Putra Mosque, or also known as the Pink Mosque. We took some nice photos, some videos there. It was very fun, and there was also the flags of all the 14 states, as well as the Malaysia flag, and we learned so much information. To ICT Mall, got our lunch and got back on the bus. No complications there. Then we had quite a long ride back, maybe around 2 hours back to our Hotel Royal Signature in Bukit Bintang in Kuala Lumpur. And we went to the lobby, and then the booking experience it took like 2 hours. But the lobby there was pretty nice. There was this like ancient typewriter there where we were playing with it, and also a bar there. People got some drinks, non-alcoholic of course. And Miss told us to get a good night's sleep, because day 2 we had to wake up pretty early in the morning. On to day 2.
So Humpy, how was
Day 2.
what did we do?
It was a pretty eventful day. We first started off pretty early. We drove like an hour to Nottingham University in Malaysia, and we took some pictures, and we had a nice lovely tour of the campus. And then the tour guide took us around to see like the living accommodations, the different types of labs there, like the engineering lab, the mechatronic lab, the 3D printing lab. Then she gave us a lot of information about like the courses she's doing and the courses there, and how it's life, the student life. And then we went to the auditorium where the person in charge for the region, the Asia region, gave us like an in-depth explanation of the different types of courses in Nottingham University, Malaysia, how much they cost, the opportunities like the alumnus, the job hunting festivals and whatnot. And then after that we had a nice lunch in the cafeteria, and it was pretty lovely. They were pretty hospitable and I loved it. So Ashham, how's University of Cyberjaya?
Cyberjaya was very nice. For a person like me who's really interested in biology, Cyberjaya is basically like paradise on earth. It had like everything about that field, like medicine, nursing, biotechnology, bioengineering, or everything along those lines. So, and at Cyberjaya, one of the students gave us a tour. We went around basically just in a huge circle, and they were showing us the different classrooms and all of that in Cyberjaya. After that, we went to an auditorium. First, one of the teachers, one of the professors of the MBBS program, she was telling us about what the MBBS program is like, because that's like one of the main highlights of Cyberjaya. And it's really interesting there. They have a lot of unique things that other universities, other medicine schools just don't have. There was the bioengineering segment where they divided us into groups and they made us make like a little gadget. Each group got like a different thing to make, and the group that made the most accurate version of the gadget would win, and it was really fun. I really enjoyed the University of Cyberjaya.
Yo, Aiham, so I'm calling you now because I've been told by a lot of people that we missed a really important segment in our part, like something about a bus waba. Do you know what that is?
Oh yeah, right after we left Cyberjaya, we were about to go home. Our bus was trying to turn onto the road, and then suddenly the power went out and it just stopped, bro. Do you remember that?
Oh yeah, I remember. That was crazy. You were stranded outside for so long.
Yeah, we walked around. We saw like on the nearby tree there was a lot of monkeys. They were like reading the books that were dropped there. They stole Mikko's pen and his Cyberjaya pamphlet, bro. Oh my god.
Bro, I didn't even get to go over there. I was near the bus hanging out with the people that were still there. I was playing football with someone's shoe with Ryan.
That was an experience, bro. Then we had to like, all 60 of us had to fit onto one bus, and then we all drove to Times Square. And then we had our dinner, and we walked around for a bit. And then you know what happened when we were about to go home?
What happened?
All of the big kids, they all had to go on a small bus and go home separately, man.
Oh yeah, the Fala bus. Oh my god.
Yeah, bro.
That was one of the events of all time.
That's about it. On to day 3.
To finally eat dinner to Zain Malik restaurant, which is also top 5 experiences of this trip. Some would say bottom 5, but the bottom becomes the top when they are.
So on day 3, we first went off to the Tugu Negara. This is the place where the Malaysian people honor their World War II heroes and people from the Malayan emergence. Then we moved on towards an area where there were 7 soldiers. 5 of them were the Malayan soldiers, and they were standing on 2 enemies. Then we took pictures there, and then we moved on to...
This is Shakeeb post video. I forgot to tell you guys about the time when we went to the King's Palace. We went to the King's Palace, I think around in the morning. And this is the place where Makin almost got ran over by the horse when they were changing.
It didn't see you.
Where did we move on to? We moved on to the Independence Day Square. This is the place where Malaysia gained its independence and where they hold their local events. Then afterwards, at the KL Tower, all we did was get off, took pictures at the sign, and take pictures with the mirror. Now Mikko will tell you about the rest of our day.
Okay, so right after that we went back to the bus. Then we went to visit the Petronas Towers. We took some nice selfies, a very nice video where everyone dabbed. And right after that we went into the tower. We got to eat some lunch. And then it started raining, but then that wasn't a problem because we had a bus. And then we went into the bus, and from the bus we Okay, but yeah, after we got on the bus, we had a very long ride, like a 3-hour ride to the rice paddy fields, which was my favorite part of this entire trip. Some people say that it wasn't that fun and not worth the trip, right? But like, I feel like that was a very surreal experience. I've never smelt an aroma like that before. But then yeah, so basically, let me explain what we did there. We got to the rice paddy fields. It was like a little farm and also like a bazaar of sorts. We went in. Everyone ran to the toilet, as you can see here. The people there took us on a little tour. Really wasn't a tour. It was very short but sweet tour. We watched a like 5-minute presentation. We went into the shop that sold all the variety of products. Basically maybe that's why some people didn't enjoy it. Next, we went back to the bus. Then we went to the monkey hill where there were many monkeys. These monkeys really like to climb people. They climbed Alvin, they climbed Jose, they climbed Ilan. That's all that happened in the monkey hill. My next favorite part of this trip, we went to the fireflies. But low-key, that wasn't that nice either because we went at 8 p.m, the sun sets at 7:30. There was so much light we could barely see anything. But yeah, after we looked at the fireflies, we went to go eat dinner at Zain Malik restaurant, which I would say is a top 5 experience on this trip, but mostly because there wasn't enough top 5s, which the bottoms became the tops. But yeah, those who know the butter chicken incident and those who waited for like another extra hour just to get their food, good luck to them. After we ate, we finally went back to the bus. We got home at 1 a.m. That was quite a sad day. On to day 4.
Day 4. On our 4th day of LBW, we started off the day by visiting the Royal Selangor Pewter Factory headquarters, which was located in Kuala Lumpur. This particular factory was founded by young Kun back in 1885. He was a Chinese person who migrated to Malaysia, and that's where his pewter business really took off. For those who are wondering, pewter is a metal alloy. It's a really malleable metal alloy which is mainly made up of tin, copper and antimony. We saw a lot of things. We saw how they turned the pewter into things such as cups. That's mainly what it's used for. And then at the end of our tour, we saw many things which was made by pewter, such as an Iron Man statue, a chessboard. We saw Harry Potter, Spider-Man. Like, I'll put some pictures here. Those are just some of the things that they can make in pewter. That just shows how malleable pewter actually is. And we also met up with our business students at the end of the tour. We did a lot of catching up, we took some group photos and we headed our separate ways. For us LBW science students, we headed up to Bukit Tinggi, which is a resort located on top of a mountain. Particularly, we visited Alsace, France, a replica of Alsace, France, and it was really nice. The pictures were really nice, it was really aesthetic, and our tour was called short by the really bad weather. So we couldn't even go to the Japanese garden, and instead we headed down, after the rain stopped, we headed down to the Berjaya Hills rabbit farm. We saw a lot of rabbits, there was a hedgehog, and there was also goats, really smelly goats. And after seeing the goats, we visited the horse shed. There were a lot of horses, there was also 2 dogs and a cat. The horses were really nice. They were just as excited as we were, especially them when they saw Luth and Ashham for some reason. And after visiting the horses, we made our way to my town where we watched Spider-Man Brand New Day. I really liked the part where Peter Parker turned into Spider-Man, and it was a brand new day. And after watching the movie, we picked up dinner and then we headed home. And that concluded the 4th day of our trip, and there's many more to go.
So, day 5. We woke up pretty early, like 5 or 6, and we went to MAPS. Now, MAPS is significant for one thing, okay? And it's that it's an agricultural hub. It's a sort of place where they grow a lot of different types of trees, plants, fruits, roots, where they want to boost the agricultural integrity of Malaysia. We saw rice paddies that they were working on, all sorts of different trees, grasses, that they need essentially to boost their agricultural fields. We went to 3 different places in that agricultural place. The first being the oil pressery, where they press oils from different plants, components, and where we got to try Tonka Ali, which is a cardiovascular booster which helps blood flow. And they did market it as Viagra though, but honestly, zero effect on me. This works. They gave us different types of oils also, cinnamon oil, lemon oil, which they got from the leaves or the barks of those trees. And honestly, they burnt my skin. It's okay. Then we got to see where they pressed oils, the boiler that they used, and then we moved on towards the honeycombs, where they had a whole huge setup of bees, different types of flowers, different types of honeys that they were harvesting. And we got to see a really cool different type of honeycomb, which you can see right here, which is like a sort of black honeycomb. It's really interesting, and the honey doesn't taste like the normal store-bought honey you get Mikko Rajega. It was more sour, very subtle sourness. It was really nice. Then they gave us was it hibiscus water? Some kind of rose water that we got to try. Tea gotang hadafa. Then one of the main highlights of the day was the petting zoo. Petting zoo it was a zoo. That place was amazing. I got to see an alpaca, there was an alligator, there was a lizard that looked like Jasim, there was what was it? There was capybaras there, then there was a bird there, then there was a snake that was on my neck, it was on Ida's neck, it was on everybody's neck. That guy was so cool, bro. Then we saw a bunch of birds, like there was an ostrich or emu, I don't know, I just know they don't fly. But yeah, the petting zoo was really cool. I got stuck in a slide. There was a little kiddie slide there, but I didn't fit into it, and I got stuck in it, and I had to be dragged out of it. I think if I find the clip, it will be here. Otherwise, it will say it's not there. Okay. Then we finished off. We went to IOI City Mall, and we had a good lunch, and we set off to Jabatan Kimia, Malaysia, which is a chemistry related ministry building where they do all sorts of experiments. While bus 2 went ahead into the other sorts of laboratories and facilities, we stayed inside the hall where they introduced us to what they do, to visit a few stalls they had, where we learned about narcotics, DNA testing, neurostimulants, drugs, and all sorts of different things that I don't think we can experience here at Rajega. Honestly, my favorite part was the drugs. It was really interesting to see drugs in real life being kept in little cylinders, and it was just really interesting. We got to go then into another area of the building where we got to see their facilities, and they had a lot of other cool experiments showing water security, rice security, food security, halal investigation, and showed how they determine halal or haram from different sorts of like experiments, microscopic investigations. And overall the day was pretty good. And after we finished off, we went to Sunway Pyramid and Sun Vegas. We had a nice time. We took our chill, relaxed. Me and Alvin bought matching t-shirts and matching sword. It will be there, I think. And to end of the night, we lost Jude Jaufer on the way. We left him at the mall while we were all in the bus because he couldn't read a message. And Ida spilled Jollibee all over his bus and supposedly ate it according to Yuab. That's it. That's day 5. On to day 6.
My name is Jasim, and on day 6, during our visit to the Malacca Flying Academy, we got an exciting introduction to the world of aviation. We learned about the basics of flight, including how aircraft generate lift, how pilots control the aircraft, and the different instruments used inside the cockpit. We also got to explore the training facilities and learn about what it takes to become a professional pilot, from ground training to actual flight experience. The visit gave us a better understanding of aviation and showed us how much knowledge, skill, and responsibility is involved in flying an aircraft. Overall, it was an interesting and educational experience that gave us a closer look at what life in the aviation industry is really like.
Okay, let's go.
Hi everyone, I'm Alish, and today we'll be taking you through our trip to Malacca, which is one of Malaysia's most historic and culturally rich cities. Our first stop was Bukit Malacca, where we got to explore some of the most famous sites in the area. Around the hill, you can find important historical landmarks and beautiful old buildings that show Malacca's Portuguese, Dutch, and British influences. One of the biggest highlights of this trip was a Famosa, which remains an old Portuguese fortress. We also saw St. Paul's Hill and St. Paul's Church with an amazing view of the surrounding city. After this, we headed towards Tonka Street, It's one of the most
Yeah,
famous
yeah.
places in Malacca. The streets are filled with traditional shops, local foods, souvenirs, and plenty of interesting things to see. We had some time to walk around, explore the atmosphere, and do some shopping. After that tour, we headed back to Kuala Lumpur. The ride back gave us some time to relax after a long day of walking and exploring. While most of the group stayed at the hotel, a few of us continued the adventure. Our final stop was Pavilion, where we had some time for some last minute shopping, and it was a great way to finish up the Shane trip.
So basically on first we went to Jabatan Nuclear Malaysia, which just means Nuclear Malaysia Agency. So after we went there, we assembled, and then both the buses combined. We were split into 3 groups, and then the group I was in, we first went into the waiting room so that the other 2 groups would finish whatever they were doing, and then we proceeded into the Triga Puspati reactor digital simulator, where they explained the history of the agency and the reactor, and how it's not used for commercial use where they generate electricity, but it's used for research and making medical radioisotopes or something like that. And then we went into the analog control panel, which is now decommissioned because that's really old. And then they taught us how to control the reactor with it and how it's used for learning. And then after we finished that, we went to Ajinomoto factory, the famous MSG, birthplace of MSG. We had a tour around there, and they taught us the process on how they make the products. And then we had some chicken book testing with MSG and without MSG, and all I can say, it was umami. And then after that we had lunch. No, we had lunch before Ajinomoto, and then after Ajinomoto we went to my town. We did our final shopping, and then we slept. That's it for day 7.
Overall, 9 out of 10. I think our experience was fulfilled, and it was a good trip. It was a good trip. Yeah, that's about it. Thank you for watching. Peace. Ida.
Thank you for watching the LBW Bus 1 videos. Peace out.